Welcome to Mishna study Masechet Pesachim, Perek Zayin Mishnah Yud Bet. Over here in this Mishnah, I'm going to discuss if a limb left the boundary. Right. So again, any meat that leaves the appropriate boundary. Let's say the Korban Pesach. We're talking about the house. Right. So the meat of the Korban Pesach left the house. It's not allowed. You have to burn it. Now let's say it's a limb that left the house. So the meat you have to burn. But what do you do about the bone that it's on? So if you could detach the limb, great. But you can't cut the bone. So you need to really get to a point where it's really at you know a joint where you can go ahead and detach it without breaking the bone. Right. So that's going to really be some of the discussion now. Now, there's three places where something could leave. Right. Well, the Quran Pesach that we spoke about, right? That's not allowed to leave the house. But let's say you have Kodashim Kalim, right? That's the korbanot that need to be in Jerusalem, so that needs to stay in Jerusalem. Or Kodesh Kodashim, right? That you have to stay within the Azara, right? Within the courtyard of the Mikdash, right? So if anything leaves its appropriate place, then you have to go ahead and treat it accordingly. So let's read our Mishnah now. If you have a limb that part of it left, right? So over here we're talking about the Korban Pesach, part of it left out, right? So part of it left the house. So what do you do? Okay, so the meat, the flesh that you have to, take off. What do you do about the bone? You can't cut the bone, right? So imagine, let's say my fingers is like one of the fingers of one of the limbs of a goat, right? So it left right over here, left all the way up to here. So you see over here. So what do? You have to literally cut around, right, the flesh. Now you can't cut the bone. So what do? You peel, on the side until you get to a joint, right? When you get to a joint, you remove it, and you go back and cut off the flesh. So all the flesh from here on is being removed, plus the joint, the further joint is also being not cutting it. Right? Only time you cut is when you get to a joint. Now, let's say you have a regular korban. Okay, there's no issue. There's nothing wrong. There's no isur of cutting a bone in a regular korban. So if that animal, right, left a limb, left its appropriate place, let's say Kodesh Kodashim left the Azara, left the courtyard, or Kodesh Kalim left Yerushalayim. So what do? Kotzetz bakofis. You cut it with a knife, right, with the blade. And because there's no there's no mitzvah that you cannot cut the bone of a korban. Let's say it left mina agaf bifnim kilifnim. Let's say it left the door, right? The doorway, but the actual where that door is, where it closes up against. That's considered the inside. Mina agaf lahutz, right? But from that actual from the from that doorway and inward is considered inside, and from the doorway outward is considered outside. Right? And windows and the depth, width of the wall itself, that's considered klifnim. That's considered like the inside. And if the korban was, within that window, or within that, ovia right? The depth, the homa itself, right, of the wall itself, that's considered inside, and none of these laws apply because it's considered, still within the appropriate